follows an important message from the government. Stay at home, watch our show, and have fun.
And that is why we're here, to have fun, everybody.
Yay!
I'm able to do that in our world, and that's by drinking either tea or coffee. How about yours?
I have coffee. It looks like a stout, but it's coffee.
I have hot chocolate that I've mostly drunk in a Union flag cup.
Sidebar, Christelle always says it's coffee, guys.
I
know for sure.
No,
Yeah, that looks a bit like pork to me, Christelle.
It does look like it, and I am a fan of stout, so
Yeah, that's okay. We're all in self-quarantine right now. Is there really any rules?
There's no rules, and I would, if I had stout in my house, I wouldn't be opposed, although I have to be careful to eat first, and then we'll have to do a drinking happy hour.
Well, there are still rules, April. If you've killed your husband and then buried him under the sink, then they will come to you. So probably don't mention that until the show's over.
You know, I got to be straight with you guys. I would never, at this point, find any reason to kill my husband. My mother-in-law, that's a whole other story.
I'm so glad you cleared this up.
My ex-mother-in-law, my recent mother-in-law, she's pretty okay. Things are coming around, but you know, I always say moms of sons are the absolute worst, okay? But my ex-mother-in-law, oh yeah, it would be like whack, 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 and 30 seconds flat.
There's a suggestion that Christelle's coffee is a bit spiked.
Okay, so when I look down, I'm actually answering our viewers. So Tim, I'm telling him, no, it's not spiked. However, I'm not opposed to a morning stout.
Yeah. Christelle's like, I'm not in denial about it. Who doesn't love a good drink? But just so we know, we're not doing it right now.
The funny thing is, I've kind of I've gone off alcohol a little bit in the lockdown. The main thing I love about going to the pub and going to bars is the social aspect. And like doing Zoom calls where I'm drinking and like virtual pubs, they're just not the same. I like the social aspect, but I could just be drinking anything.
Yeah. You know, I gotta say I respect that honesty, you know, because you know, a real alcoholic is someone who drinks by himself, right? And you don't want to be one of those. You're like, I'm an alcoholic with public people.
Binge drinking has been more of an issue for me than I never drink on my own. I think I drink. Well, I mean, it's like, does drinking when you're on a Zoom call count? I would say it probably doesn't. I think it kind of counts as still with other people. Are you worried about alien attack or something, April?
Yeah, I feel.
What's happening? I missed it.
All those days.
April's going like.
All those days in jail have kind of gotten to the best of me. No, you know what? I keep hearing something buzzing, and a couple of years ago we got a couple of bees in the house, and I'm thinking, oh no, if you guys want this thing to go viral, if a bee comes at me, there you have it. So I'm like, yeah.
Speaking of bees, my parents had killer bees just this past week that they had to get rid of. Their shed, and they had to call a beekeeper out.
Oh my goodness, seriously?
Yeah, I think they're in Southern California. Did I hear?
Yeah. Are you talking about the murder hornets?
I don't know what the difference is.
Well, one is that they have a trendy name, murder hornets. They were dubbed,
scientific name.
Right? They're dubbed by the media murder hornets.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hornets are actually powerful enough that they can just keep stinging and killing over and over. And they say they're wiping out the bee population. I don't know as much about the killer bees. All I know is in my world, all bees are killer because I have allergies and I don't like them, so I don't want them around me. But yeah, so tell us about that. How did they discover those? Please tell me they were outside.
Well, this is what happened. And they were killer bees because the end of the story was the beekeeper did a test on them and they were something like 75% killer bee, 25% regular bee. Somehow they crossbreed. I don't know. And my parents live farther west than killer bees are usually found. Murder hornets. And some murder donuts.
Murder donuts. You know, donuts will murder you if you eat too many at once.
And murder donuts. I have been craving donuts. I've told you guys this all lockdown, and I'm not a sweets person. So every time Tim mentions donuts, I'm like, I need a donut. So how they found out is, because my mom is housebound. She cannot leave the house. She's actually
She
quadriplegic.
lives
in the house. She lives in bed. My dad takes care of her 24 hours. They do have nurses that come and help during the day.
Okay.
So what happened was a nurse was leaving the house one day and noticed that there were bees kind of swarming their shed. My dad went out there to kind of check it out. He opened the shed and had to close it right away because they started doing their swarming.
Wow.
And they started following him because they follow you. And apparently they went to their house. The nurse that was there had to help him get whatever bees out. I think there were like 9 or 10 bees that did get in. They got them out. My dad got stung a few times.
Oh no.
They didn't know if it was regular bees, although he said they were being very violent, aggressive. And so they called the beekeeper, and sure enough, they were killer bees. And he had to bring a partner out to help him because they have to fight these killer bees together because the bees swarm you. Obviously, they wear their beekeeper uniforms, or I don't know what they're called, but they wear their beekeeper outfit.
Uniform was good.
And so
I actually call them a uniform because they have to wear those every time they go out.
Yeah. Well, and they still swarm. And so apparently they take turns because one person will have to be getting the bees off. The next person goes in and vacuums them out. Oh. And I don't know. My parents live farther west than they are normally found here in San Diego. Normally they tend to be more east, going towards desert, mountain, I guess, versus towards the ocean. And he said this is the farthest west that he had ever seen them. I don't really know the migration of bees or what that means, but yeah.
Maybe there's going to be some massive fight when the killer bees meet the murder hornets.
Well, yeah, you have to look up the murder hornets, Christelle. Yeah. You got to look them up. They made the news. I mean, those
Where are they?
Oh, I don't know. I think somewhere sort of Washington, Seattle way or something.
Somewhere, or Seattle, one of those.
They've been in all of these memes about like first off Australian bushfires, then like COVID-19, and now the murder, the murder hornets. It's like, can we cancel 2020? Oh
my goodness!
Actually, I mean, apparently they can. The murder hornets can kill humans if they sting about 5 times or something.
Well, and that's just someone like myself or my family who have allergies. That would be, that would be potentially fatal almost immediately, because that's pretty scary. I mean, even bees, anything that you could go into an anaphylactic shock over is murderous. It's dangerous. So I just try to steer clear of all bees.
You might as well just stay indoors forever, April.
Yeah, that's pretty. I would say, can't you tell? I just said this morning in my meeting, I feel like I'm getting whiter in color. That's WHITER. I'm getting whiter in color, right? Yeah. I'm like, this is stuff. I need to get outside a little more. Something's going on. Give me a little light or something to help get some color back into my body.
Do you have a patio you go out on and read, or you garden, don't you?
I actually do, but I have to admit, I think lately I've been doing more on the inside, and I just kind of started getting back in because I was doing a lot of stuff indoors, and I used to walk regularly, which I hadn't done so much now. But just recently, I was like, I'm getting back outdoors, and like yesterday, I was washing the cars and getting back into getting the yard up to par and everything. And I think that that's a good thing. I realized when I was outside, like I missed being outdoors, because I love being outdoors, but I'm not what you'd call outdoorsy. Like camping is not really like, I remember when I met my husband, I knew right away this was going to be the right one because we were talking about camping, and his definition of camping and mine were very similar. A nice hotel or B&B near the outdoors, the lakes, all of those things. So, but I do enjoy being outdoor. I love going to the mountains. I love fishing. I wouldn't say I love it. I enjoy fishing, walking, gardening, which I'm not great at, which you are actually, Christelle. I was hate liking your gardening photos.
I get tips. I
did too, but I still failed. But yours is looking really good. So talk about your garden. Is that your first?
I don't have a real garden. I'm planting them in pots.
Other people's gardens? You go around like...
She's like, I don't really own them, but since everybody's indoors, it's really easy to go around and take from those.
That would be fun to plant plants, because I don't actually have a garden area, although I do have a patio, so I could put them. Yeah, I could. Okay, so
let's get back to how you're stealing the plants, because that's what inquiring minds want to know how that's working.
So I planted pumpkin, which is really funny because I may have had a suggestion from a little helper to plant pumpkins. I planted melons and watermelon.
Whoa.
I know.
Well, hold up. The journalistic ear heard you kind of have a little smirk. You kind of smirked a little bit and said, I might have had a little bit of help.
Well, I have a nephew that he's 6 or 7, and I'm tutoring him. So I'm tutoring him, and so his ideas are to have Auntie Stell's plant pumpkins, like things that probably wouldn't necessarily grow great on my patio.
Oh,
but let's just do this thing, and it's pumpkins. It's what did I say? Melon, watermelon, and carrots.
Yeah.
So on a patio, it really doesn't make sense, but I'm laughing because it would be funny to plant things and give them to the neighbors. And actually, it would be great. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to plant
them in their garden when they're not looking. Like, what a surprise. Dig up a little patch of grass and just put it there. Toilet paper thing, right?
That's really funny.
But it looks good. Your garden is doing great. So high five.
They're pots. Yeah, they're little. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. You know what that's called? New York chic. That's what I call it. New York chic.
Oh, yes.
I have on my Pinterest. I got a whole lot of New York chic way of living, because if you live in a smaller space, or maybe you don't like me, speaking of gardens, I'm going to post this on my blog anyway. So I managed to kill 2 this year, and I'm not really sure what's going on with me. But I decided at this point I probably shouldn't get a pet or a baby. So my husband and I are on board there, because I managed to kill my little seedlings that I worked so hard for, and they were growing so great. And then I put them outside, and I totally forgot they were there. Okay. Until 24 hours later, I came in and I was like, where's my plants? Oh no. And then I started my water garden, which I've done really good like years ago. And then I replanted, where you replant scraps in water.
Yeah.
And don't know, I guess I overfilled the glass with too many of them, and that didn't work out. Now I've got a lettuce plant growing in water on my countertop. So, I don't know if this is going to be my year to master that art of gardening, but I do know baking is going to go really well. So
Tim, do you garden?
No.
Did you say no?
No, I don't. I've got a massive garden as well, and it's a bit of a jungle at the moment.
Is it wildflowers? Is it like?
Yeah, fairly terrible. Well, I mean, I do mow the lawn occasionally, but I've got a patio that I need to clear out because there's weeds growing on it. So yeah, generally, I'm not somebody who should be trusted with a garden, and I've got a garden, but. Hey ho!
You live near a really cool trail, though, that you go on often.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the funny thing is, like, I didn't know about like Epping Forest and all the forests and parklands in northeast London really to quite a while after I moved here, because I met Rachel in 2005, and it was mainly when she was actually in hospital when she was ill that I had to kind of learn all the bus routes, and that took you through lots of little sort of trails and things. And then since I've been working for myself, I've had the opportunity in the daytime to investigate all the kind of forest tracks and the like. And the funny thing is now, because one of the few things you can do in the UK is go outside into parkland and forest. The forests are actually crammed full of people now. It's like that film Wall-E, where you see the fat humans coming off the spaceship, bleary-eyed outside into the real world. That's kind of the forest in London, forests and parks in London. They're like, oh, what's this like forest thing?
They're like, look, a tree. It's been so long since we've seen a tree.
Yeah.
It's called Epping Forest. Okay, so you're gonna laugh, I think. I've been telling people you live near something called Elfin Forest.
Oh.
Well, I might do, but I think that's probably somewhere from Lord of the Rings or something like that.
But you know what, Christelle, stick with that because it sounds more interesting. I like it myself.
I always tell people that you live near. I think he lives near Elfin Forest.
Well, I might do. I mean, there's so many different. It hasn't. I mean, they've got different names. It's primarily Epping Forest, which is a place called Epping. But yeah, it's got different names and different bits. So I don't think there is an Epping Forest. No, just say it confidently, and then people will never challenge you.
He lives near Elfin Forest. Hi, Jim.
The art of faking it, right?
Tim has joined us. Tim is talking about.
Oh, hey, Jim.
Tim is talking about gardening. His dad loves it, but let's see, he doesn't like it.
Oh.
Shall we get onto the hard quiz?
Let's do the quiz. We have help now. Tim and Jim.
Well, I want you two to agree with something before I reveal the subject of the quiz.
You know what? I'm just going to
play important. It's important for Americans to believe in the political process and to know about it. Would you agree that that's a good thing, that Americans should know about the political process in their country and who represents them and things like that?
I don't know
where this is going.
Because I gotta be straight right now. You know, it's not that I don't have respect for a process. You gotta have process. Okay, I get that. But even as a journalist, I only had a couple things in mind when it came to me covering any political stuff, and especially today, it's kind of like, ooh. So there's so much rage and frustration around it. So, okay, so, you know, I don't know. Let's see how it goes.
I have a feeling the answer is no, but we have help with Tim, Jim, and I see Kat joined us too. So
yeah.
Are any of those people in our country? Jim is. Jim
and Tim. Kat isn't.
You got two backup people.
Oh, Tim's from here too. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Kat's near.
Tim and Jim are different people, yeah. You may have not realised they are.
Kat's there too. Hey, Kat, I didn't know you were there.
He's near the UK. I just saw him pop on.
Yeah.
Okay, will help us too. Let's see what happens.
No, it's the same deal as last week. I'm going to give you 10 minutes.
I'm so nervous.
I wasn't here last week.
Well, even better. That's even better for Christelle. She's got you to help.
I'm nervous.
Chicago. Get help from anywhere you are, apart from looking it up on Wikipedia.
Okay.
But I want you to name all the 100 US senators.
What?
You know what? You know what? You're fired. You're fired, Tim. I don't care that you. I don't care that you pay for this.
Just an exercise. Get as to as many as you can, because you do know some of them.
Senator Warren.
Yeah.
Senator Warren.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Does it still count?
Huh?
Yeah. Go back out. I'm going to still
count.
Yes, Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, that's right.
Senator McCain. Is there a Purdue, like the farm, like the chicken farm?
How's that spelled?
Prdue, I think. I think there's a Purdue. No.
I am totally.
Yeah, you're right. He's Georgia.
Is it Georgia? Okay.
Jim just said Kelly Loeffler.
Yeah. Is that the one with the hair? She always does her hair and makeup.
I think so. Yeah.
Cory Booker. Cory Booker.
Booker is, yeah. I'm not sure, but I'm still trying to find this Loeffler person.
Oh, who is it?
Jim knows all of them. Ted Cruz, John Warner.
Ted Cruz is right.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for all of that. We appreciate that, by the way. And then there's Senator Warren. Who's
our senator? Who's our senator?
Great question. Isn't it Bob?
Well, this is me trying to work out how the hell I'm going to actually tick these off. I'm getting in the spreadsheet and I'm like ordering them.
No, that's an actor.
At one time we had Feinstein.
No.
At one time we had Feinstein, Senator Feinstein.
That's right. We did. She's still not there, huh?
Is she there? Is she there? I don't.
Ted Cruz.
I cannot believe that we're being asked that. I feel so nervous and so.
Oh, you know what? Kamala Harris. Come on. Kamala Harris.
Yes.
Right? I remember her. Well, we don't know these people on a regular basis, even though
Kamala Harris. Well, there's lots of people who've run for president that give you a hint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
didn't everybody run for president? I did.
Senator, wasn't he? Is he still a senator?
Right.
Who is it?
Bernie. He's a senator. He was a senator.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders. He's one.
Amy Klobuchar.
Yeah, she's one.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Why are you making me ill?
Mitch McConnell. Who?
Yeah. Well, I think Tim said him in the comments some time ago.
Oh, Tim said it?
I can't see
the comments, so whatever he said,
Mitch McConnell. Jim said Mitch McConnell, Elizabeth Warren, the former Senator McCain.
Right.
John Warner.
Paul Rand, because he's been in the news lately.
Paul Rand, yes. Oh my gosh.
Pat Roberts, which is so weird. Every time I.
Well, no John Warner, according to Wikipedia, unless I spelled his name wrong.
I'm thinking of who's in the news. Who's in the news?
No, Bernie Sanders is in the Senate. He's for Vermont.
He's what? He is. Yeah. Hillary used to be a senator.
She did.
Yeah, she isn't anymore. Oh, Kelly Loeffler. He just spelled it wrong. It's right. Yeah, that's.
Kat, help us. You can cheat, Kat.
Rand Paul. Yeah, I think he's one.
Senators.
Paul, yes.
Who's our senator?
Bernie's the House of Representatives. We were wrong.
No, Bernie's in the Senate, so he's been ticked off.
Jim said he's in the House of Reps.
Yeah, well, Wikipedia, I believe, over Jim. And I actually know that Bernie was in the Senate, so.
He's been around a long time. He's been around a very long time. We have quite a few. I'm sure there's a Kennedy that's a senator.
We already said Dianne Feinstein, right? Didn't you say that, Christelle?
Dianne Feinstein. There has to be a Kennedy in there.
There is a Kennedy.
Kamala Harris. We said Kamala. Richard Blumenthal.
Yeah, he's one. Yeah.
Between all of us, I'm sure we've already. Let's next check next.
The rest, honestly, unless they've made headlines, I wouldn't even know. There's a lot. We have a lot of families who stay in for a very long time.
There's one from Florida who ran against Trump in the presidential thing.
Oh, yes.
I don't think you mentioned him.
No, I know. Oh, who ran against Trump? And he's been voicing out actually against Trump recently.
Yeah, and he's the guy who took forever to do things, I guess.
Oh my gosh, what's his name?
Let's
start with an M.
Mark.
Why can't I? It's not coming. I know. Yeah.
Starts with Marco.
Huh?
Marco, and then what's his surname?
Oh, Marco Rubio.
Yes.
That's not who I was thinking of. I was thinking of the other one, the one who ran against. Oh no, he ran against Obama.
Oh.
Wasn't he a senator? The one who ran against Obama. What is his name?
Senator.
Well, there's probably loads of them.
And he's been making a lot of news recently. I'm forgetting his name.
Oh boy.
And I'm almost positive it starts with an M. Jim, I bet you know. You know who I'm talking about. Who ran against President Obama second term?
That's a good question. I didn't know about.
What is his name? Oh my gosh.
Senator.
Well, that was McCain, wasn't it? He's dead. Was that?
No, second time though. His second round. McCain was first round, I believe. Second.
Yeah, well, he didn't. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
So the second term. Mitt Romney. Thank you. I knew Jim would know.
Mitt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's recently been elected to the Senate, hasn't he? So I'd forgotten about even giving him.
You're right.
Okay, I don't know anymore.
Me neither.
Well, one of them was a vice presidential candidate.
You mean Biden?
No, it's not. I don't think Biden's in the Senate, is he?
Although Biden was in the Senate, wasn't he?
He was before.
Yeah, he's not anymore. Well, say that. There's also a guy who won in Alabama who's a Democrat. You might know. Because he was upset that he won it. I heard of him as an upset because he is a Democrat who won in Alabama.
Oh, he wasn't upset. Oh, I see what you're saying. Tim, after this, without cheating, I want you to list every member of the House of Parliament.
Yeah.
Well, I think, well, there's 650. I mean, it's not quite as like Tim McCain.
Tim McCain, okay.
It's close. It's Tim McCain. I'll give it to you.
Did you guys get Facebook Messenger rooms on your profiles yet? Yes, I did.
We have. I don't know
how to use it. I'm not sure I've got it yet.
I just saw it this morning, but I can't wait to try it out and see how that works.
All right. See if there's anybody else who you might have. Who is the Democratic leader of the Senate? I think this guy is. Anyway.
Jim, Tim, Kat.
Democratic leader?
Well, there's Nancy Pelosi's in the House of Representatives. Who's the,
right? She is.
Who's the equivalent in the Senate? On the Democrat side, obviously, they're not in charge in the Senate.
I mean,
Mitchell.
Who?
George Mitchell?
No.
The only way I'll get this is if I Google it. So I'd be.
Yeah, that's what I'm in. That's where I'm at too.
Chuck Schumer is the.
Amy Schumer's uncle. I wasn't even thinking about him.
Who?
Chuck Schumer is Amy Schumer's uncle.
Oh, that's funny. Huh.
Yeah, right. I know you don't even make the connection, and she doesn't like anybody. She's like, I have my own opinions, but
You know, our House of Reps and our senators, many of them have been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
And many of them are families that have been around for a long time. I mean, I'm very interested in the history, but names.
Me too.
I don't
really remember them.
To be honest, I've not really heard of any other ones. I was going through the list.
Jim said Chuck Schumer.
That's the end of your. So see how many you got.
We must have got at least
sweating.
80 out of 100 between me, Christelle, and Jim.
Jim did really good. They are older than me. Yeah, they've been around for a long time. Many of them have been around, and then their sons come in, and it's families.
Yeah.
That's
definitely a place of nepotism.
Yeah, it's families. They keep going around, and that the history, like I said, completely interests me. It's very intriguing, but
me too.
But there's not a lot of new
No.
New blood. It's. I like it when there's some new, fresh voices, I should say, some fresh voices in there. But
yeah, who in the White House right now? Was any of those people in the
16 out of 100. So
yeah, that's pretty good for people like us.
I think I tried it and I got about 6. So
that's pretty good, Tim. Can you name 16 from the House of Parliament?
Probably can't now. Well, I probably could in 10 minutes, but yeah, it'd be too tough. I mean, you got like years ago, I used to be really into sort of like who was in each position. But recently, I think this is part of the trouble with politics. We no,
it's all Britain's fault. It's all Britain's fault because of the tea tax.
We're going to go back to the Boston Tea Party now.
You know what? We have a bone to pick, Tim.
You're older than me.
The Boston Tea Party.
Yeah. Well, Tim remembers it clearly.
We have a bone to pick. I'm actually watching The Crown, and I'm finally
start.
I got Netflix. April, we're going to be very happy. We can talk at least a little bit of pop culture, I guess. But I started watching The Crown, and I'm fascinated at how they are portraying Winston Churchill.
Oh,
how are they portraying right? I've not really seen it. My mum's watched it, but I haven't. So
I think, listen, I don't know UK history that much. It fascinates me. But it's interesting how, I don't even know if I know how to describe how they're portraying him. But it's interesting the cross between the Queen and Winston and the relationship there that they're showing. And then the relationships, all the cross politics between the royals and the Parliament and Winston, and how everyone kind of has to play their own role and help each other, keep sides. And there's a lot of this conversation. Some people, so we have a lot of conversation happening.
Yes. I think this is talking about politics rather than The Crown.
Yeah, some people work on revolution while others are holding their place, he said.
Oh, okay. Are we talking?
So true. Okay. That's true. It's like that with corporate America.
Got it. I just watched the last.
Oh, he was talking about nepotism.
Yeah, he's talking about the nepotism.
Got it. Yeah, it's an interesting. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Good.
It's a very interesting historical take. There's some things that happened that I wasn't aware of. For example, the Great Fog that happened in the UK. I'm assuming that's true. That early in.
Well, in the 19, it's before my time, because believe it or not, I'm
not sure, but okay.
But no,
they that.
They had like real air pollution issues in London in the 1940s and 50s. Famously brought in the Clean Air Act. I think it was in 1962 or something like that. So there was a lot of fog in London, which was basically aerial pollution. It was funny. There was an American guy I worked with was going, "Have you still got fogs in London?" And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" But there hasn't been like that kind of level of obvious air pollution in London since the 1960s. But yeah, there used to be really a bit like LA's basically got a fog problem.
Yeah, and you can feel it. You can feel when you drive into LA, you can feel the air change sometimes, depending on. That's not fun. We have. Let's see. So Jim is saying, I just watched The Last Kingdom that had a lot of British areas and the Danes fighting.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I haven't, but I think that he has. Right, Tim? Don't you watch it?
No, I don't.
I thought I heard you say something. Maybe I just saw it in social media and connected.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm totally out. Well, apart from Star Wars related stuff, I'm totally out of touch with everything.
Okay.
So I can tell you the Clone Wars animated Star Wars thing finished last week, which was very good. But lots of hardcore Star because there's a whole range of animated Star Wars series as well, like but a lot of weren't watching because of the cartoons. But they were kind of done as adult things, really. So anyway, that's probably totally irrelevant to London Frogs.
Sorry about that, Christelle. What episode? Or you're still in the first season because you just started, right?
I'm still in the first season. I probably at episode 5. I've gotten somewhat pretty far. I'm obsessed now. I'm like,
yeah. I got to tell you, I wasn't sure. I said,
are you watching it at the moment?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Is one of us freezing? Am I freezing, you guys?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
I'm getting weird freezing stuff happening. That's why I keep saying what or. Okay. Oh my gosh. Speaking of Netflix.
Just watch it. Oh gosh, I want to see that too. So it sounds like it's worth watching.
It's got such a buzz about it, but I'm not seeing it because I haven't got Netflix. So I'm like.
Everyone's talking about it here. Everyone memes. It's memes across the board. People are talking about it. It's the big thing. What do you think of it?
How much of that do you think is publicity by the people who run the show, and how much of it is actually just kind of the content of the show, and how much of it is just its popular show?
Much of that is just going to be hype. They have people in social media. It's so easy to get the hype going. And people kind of believe it. It reminds me of high school. It's like one person says this is really great. It's the same. Christelle and I were talking about influencers one day. It's the same thing. If one person says it's super great, then everybody's like, oh, it's super great. Where'd you get your facts from? Oh, I don't know. I heard it from so-and-so, from so-and-so, from so-and-so. So I think a lot of it is hype, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be worth watching.
Yeah.
Also a natural curiosity, because I also told Christelle, I suggested this in social media. You might have seen it, Tim. The show Dirty John. I'd never heard of the episode before. I mean, the podcast before, but I did watch that, and it was interesting. It was very interesting. If you don't know what it is, you just got to look it up. But it's based on true life experiences.
Oh.
Not very good. I don't want to say too much because you haven't seen it yet, but not necessarily murder, although I think they probably will have some that happened in real life, but it's based on real life experiences, kind of like, horrible experiences that you would want to have, like meeting somebody on the internet that turned out to have a background that was, not so great.
Yeah.
Dangerous or those kind of things. But it's actually interesting. When I saw the name Dirty John, I was thinking, oh, I don't know, your mind goes into all sorts of places. And then I kept seeing it everywhere, and I thought the same thing. Oh, they're just building all this hype around this. I don't even like the title. Then once I delved deeper, I learned it's a title of the podcast based on one woman's experience, I believe. But once you get into it, the hype is right. It's really interesting. It can be educational. So I think it could be either or, but I haven't seen it yet.
James Prescott. Hey. James Prescott is our friend from Twitter. He's a good friend of mine, and he actually has his own podcast too, and he's an author. So, hi, James. Woohoo. So Jim and Kat are still talking about Tiger World.
Yeah, and he said, well, Kat just said, let's try the first episode. That's what he did.
And then Jim said, we watched it. I had no idea the Tiger World in the U.S. was so whacked. What does that mean? When they're talking about Tiger World, I don't understand. What are they talking? Are they actually talking about
like tiger trading or something? Yeah. It's supposed to be quite unpleasant, but quite watchable.
It's actually about tigers, the animal. It's not like a code word for...
I don't know. I haven't seen it. So
yeah, I haven't seen it.
If anybody wants to give a brief explanation about what it is without giving any spoilers in the comments,
let's start with the beginning and end with the end.
Yeah, so I don't have it. So Jim said we watched it. I had no idea Tiger World in the U.S. was so whacked. A lot of tiger owners. Okay.
Yeah, so Tiger King, but there's a plot behind this. Am I right, guys, that are watching this? Because I didn't really want to get all into it, and I this isn't something I would normally want to watch. And then I saw something like a Dateline episode or something like that, and it had to do with this. So they actually say murder, mayhem, and madness. And so then I was thinking, and then those people just look really interesting, for lack of a better word. They look.
You just want to see if you can get a tiger to eat your mother-in-law, don't you, April?
Right.
Nobody finds out about it.
Quiet.
Jim is saying all these people that run these little tiger visiting places, which I know there's tiger visiting places in LA, at least one that I know of. So they have to get there somehow. So I suppose,
yeah,
do they breed them here in the US, or do they go get them elsewhere?
It says here, Time Magazine wrote and the first paragraph really sums it up, always the lead, but it says, Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness, Netflix's latest true crime docuseries, dives into the wild world of big cat owners and enthusiasts in an exploration of one man's path from attention-seeking zoo owner to convicted criminal. And I think there's a little bit of murder possibly in there. All I know is, you know what, true story, you guys, I was like 14 or 15 years old. I volunteered at a hospital for 4 years. I grew up, my sister was sick. She had juvenile diabetes and she had a lot of issues. And so I was there working as a volunteer. The hospital pretty much knew me because my sister was in and out at different points. So I got to go everywhere. And I had to go up and deliver some flowers to this woman. And she was an owner of like lions and tigers and things. And she was there. And I remember seeing this all over the news. She was there because her beloved little lion that she had raised had ripped her arm right off, had turned against her. And even then I was thinking, I should have known that I would be interested in reporting, because I thought, I wasn't sure what she said because I was kind of in denial. I left and I came back and I said, I just have to confirm. Did you say a lion ripped your arm off? And then she was like, oh yeah, it's all over the news. And she started talking about it. So there she was with her arm gone. And I remember thinking, every time I see people who do that, they look so loving and, they get to know you and everything like that. But in reality, those animals are built with an instinct to protect themselves. So these people who do this, I don't know, that seems kind of crazy.
There's a lot of conversation happening by our viewers. They've all seen Tiger King, and so
we haven't.
We haven't, but Kat said that it's actually a documentary based on a true story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jim said it's 3 different locations that use tigers for business and bring in tourists to make money. And then Jim also said they breed them there. And then James said Tiger King, he's seen it. So now I'm curious. Do you remember the 2 men that used to own tigers, April? And the one was Secret.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. That's their name. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was attacked. And then I think one of them just recently passed away, actually.
Yeah, I think it's Roy died this. Siegfried was the one who was mauled by a tiger, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And Roy died this week.
Roy passed this week, yeah.
They don't allow people to have those kind of big cats as pets in the UK. Quite restricted in what you can have.
I think you have to have some kind of special license or live on a certain kind of land to have that. I mean, you can't just have them in your backyard.
But I mean, like the MGM hotel in Las Vegas used to have 2 lions who all look very, very depressed in their casino. I think they got rid of them now. But yeah, I think it's a lot more liberal in the US as to what you can have pet-wise than in the UK and Europe.
Yeah, and there are restrictions on what kind of animals we can own.
And I'm kind of okay with that, because when I see people who own snakes and stuff like that, I am really troubled by that.
I'm not sure why. But
I think that people like this idea of doing things that's, like other people don't do. It gives them something to talk about. I don't know. I just think it's dangerous. When I heard that lady in the hospital, she was like, I raised it, and it just, still don't know why it turned on me. And I was just thinking, ooh, that's scary. Like that tells you right now that maybe they stay in the wild and we stay with, our little pets, our cats, our dogs, things like that. Fish.
Yeah.
Safe. I like to play it safe that way.
Cats can scratch you quite bad if they don't like it. I mean, cats they're just little killing machines, but they're not quite enough to really do any. They can do damage to a baby, though. A cat could. Dogs
can. They
too
really
stupid to do, but
they
dogs
really
can bite as well. So.
Kat is saying it's unfair to own big cats. No other reason than exploitation. I would agree, Kat. So.
Well, yeah, Kat has to say that as being a cat himself.
And I had a question. Oh, this brings to mind. I asked a question on Facebook that people seem to really like. I asked, do you have, how did I word that? Do you have an illogical fear or an odd fear of some sort?
I saw your answer. I was so tempted to try and get your photograph and a massive goldfish for the titles. Just like goldfish.
So what was it? Oh, sorry, I was.
So my question. I asked a question last night on Facebook, and a lot of people ended up answering it. And I believe it was. How did I word it? It was something like.
Have you unusual fear? Was it or something? Or
yeah. Do you have an illogical fear? And I said I'll go first. My answer is goldfish.
An unusual fear.
And you have an unusual fear, and my answer is goldfish. I went first. I have a fear of goldfish. I'll tell you why later, but I'm curious if Kat, James, Jim, or Tim have an unusual fear.
I probably do, but the trouble is a lot of the time you don't realize it's an unusual fear. You just have a fear of it.
So James said that he is scared of clowns or fairground plastic clown faces. You know what? I wouldn't have thought about that. I don't like them either. I don't like anything in a costume that I can't see their face. And I wouldn't have thought that until, thank you for reminding me, James, because I would have thought, I don't think any of my fears are like unusual because I hate spiders. A lot of people hate spiders, right? But yes, I was like 7 or 8 years old in grade school when they had all these people come around in Dracula costumes, and I was screaming and I hid in the back. And I still think it should be illegal that you can't cover up your face, especially in this time period we live in where you never know who you're dealing with. So I think that's probably unusual because people they enjoy putting.
I think at the moment with all the compulsory masks, it's another reason for you not to go out.
Well, no, that's a different kind of mask. That makes sense to me. But when people get that kind of mask, or like he said, the clown, because everybody knows the murderer's clown stories, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
For me, it's probably frogs and toads. I'm frightened of. I don't like the way they jump around.
What is it?
Toads, really, actually.
Oh, you don't like frogs? Yeah, you worried you get warts?
Sorry.
We're not allowed to laugh at each other with our fears. We're admitting.
I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I broke the rules. I'm sorry.
And Thunderbirds. Is it the puppets you don't like?
Let me just say, Tim just gave us a ridiculous quiz. I think it's okay.
So you said you don't like them. They're scary.
I was just trying to see how many of your Democratic representatives you knew, and the answer was not many. So
right. And I don't think I know any of the Republican either. I don't think I know this stuff. Christelle's like me.
Tim, tell us why you're afraid of toads or frogs.
They jump around. It's the whole kind of it's the sudden movement. That's what I don't really like about them.
Yeah.
That makes sense though. I'm not laughing at it. I'm just thinking, you kind of did like a Mrs. Doubtfire thing when you went, oh, that means automatically I saw Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah.
This is how my brain works though. I'm imagining us having a toad race.
Oh no, that would be kind of funny. Well, we know right now, hands down, we'd win because Tim said he don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If civilization depended on it, you would win the pretend to be a toad quiz.
Yeah, right, exactly, right.
Tim shared he has a fear of being trapped underground, like having to crawl through a tunnel in the dark.
Yeah, well, that's fairly normal.
The feeling is out for you.
What is a thunderbird? Can someone tell me what a thunderbird is?
I'm thinking he means the like the puppet show thing, but maybe not.
Puppet show, Thunderbirds?
No, it was a television show with like.
Is he talking about like the old school movie with wait,
it was a TV show. It was like one of these Jim Henson TV shows with.
James is a lot.
Talking about something else.
Talking about the planes that fly overhead, or
no?
Is that I'm serious because
Thunderbirds was this animated puppet show thing in
the actual. Okay.
Please.
The puppets.
Okay, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I wasn't being a jerk. I really genuinely didn't know.
You didn't know. Are these UK? Are they? Is it a UK thing?
I don't think it was. I thought it was American. I thought it was a global thing, but clearly it's. Maybe I'll go onto YouTube and find. Hang on.
He's like, I thought everybody knew, but apparently you two ladies don't know this one either.
The puppets. That makes sense. Puppets can. You know what? Actually, do. Okay, I'm gonna go along with this because you know what else freaks me out is those. What are those puppets that you talk?
Oh no! I'm so with you. Yeah, the ones that you make them talk. You project your voice. Yeah. I don't know what's worse: the puppeteers who know how to throw their voice like that without opening their mouth, or that little creepy puppet. I don't know which is worse, but I'm with you.
That's I get it. I hear you. So mine was
goldfish. So tell us why.
Okay, so I think it started once upon a time. I think it started
in a forest.
In Elfin Forest. The Thunderbirds.
Got it.
That's not a puppet though. That's a.
Let me.
Oh. Never seen this in my entire life.
I'm probably giving old poor James massive palpitation.
Yeah, the Chucky doll. Jim, I agree. The Chucky doll freaks me out. Oh,
yeah, me too.
Right. These look like those like we were telling the ventriloquist puppet things.
That's it, ventriloquist.
Yeah, I can see why they are scary. Okay, this makes sense. That makes
sense.
Anyway,
enough of that.
So tell us about the
Bring up the goldfish.
On that story.
So goldfish, I think the ventriloquists are quite talented though, says Kat. I know.
Oh, they are. They're just scary, but they are very talented.
I don't know why I have it's kind of like the Chucky doll, I guess. It's some kind of weird fear. The goldfish, I think it started with my goldfish Charlie, who kept jumping out of his bowl. And one day finally succeeded. Later on, however, probably around 20 years ago, I went into a pet store when pet stores weren't as regulated as they are now.
Mm-hmm.
No one would get away with this now. But I went into a pet store, and do you remember when fish tanks were filled to the rim with fish? They don't do this anymore. Fish tanks used to be filled with fish, which means the fish in the fish tank would suffocate because they didn't have
enough oxygen. Oh,
and so you end up with floating fish on top, fish with like gigantic bulging eyes, and other ones trying to swim and trying to get out. And I have been afraid of goldfish ever. Just talking about it freaks me out.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually Googled it one time, and there is a word for a fear of goldfish. I don't remember what it is. And people who have it, I don't know, but people who have it describe it like me. Like I can't even.
Well, all we needed was like an episode of Thunderbirds playing in the background in that pet shop. A clown person as the, and then some random toads jumping around, and we'd have like
a horror,
like fear shop.
Fear shop.
Fear shop.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So that was the question. A lot of people answered, and there were all kinds of things across the board.
What was the most unusual one that anybody said?
Let me look it up. Let me look it up because it ended up being really interesting. And
did somebody say Twitter?
I have a fear.
Oh, sorry.
No, I need to go. Okay, let me see. Wait a second. I'm going onto my Facebook.
Okay.
And
you guys, I have to step away. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. It's live. I know, but this is our happy hour. We're good.
Bring me back a coffee. No, just kidding.
Okay.
Don't play that murder hornet.
I'm gonna look for where is it? Where is
this is a well interactive show here. April's wandered off to kill a murder hornet. You're looking up.
Okay, yeah, I know. Oh, murder hornets. I'm sure someone's afraid of murder hornets. Bees. All right. Someone said sharks. Someone said loud, unexpected booms like at concerts.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone said moths. Someone said stickers.
Stickers?
I don't know, like stickers like the pokey stickers or actual stickers. Someone said veins. Someone said birds, clowns, cockroaches.
Cockroaches, I can understand. I've only encountered them a few times. They're horrible.
Balloons popping.
Yeah, that's not unusual. That's not
Killer
unusual.
whales. Anything that could eat me. That makes sense. Paper cuts. Oh, here's a UK term. I had to Google this because I didn't know what this was. School canteens.
Yeah, school kitchens, really. So
it's what?
School kitchens is what they're saying. The canteen.
Yeah, I had to Google it because in the US, it's something you drink out of.
Yeah, a canteen is just another name. It's a school name for a kitchen, really.
Okay.
So curious, Christelle, would you eat goldfish crackers?
It's funny because I put it on Twitter and someone said, "I hope you're not talking about the crackers." I have, and I do.
Okay, I just wondered because I wouldn't have thought the crackers, but I just wondered if the shape bothers you because I know people who will say like it can be any slight thing, that whatever it is, they don't like the texture of something or whatever, and it's like that across the board. So I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so that covers the fear of unusual things. Although
yeah, a fear of unusual things must be a complaint in itself. It's like, I'm okay with things as long as they're common. It's like, oh my God, this pen is different from a normal one. I'm terrified.
That's funny. We could start that. We could start our own episode just on those things. Fear of the unusual things.
We could. So Tim has an interesting saying, and I know it's supposed to be like an egg hunt, but in back of Tim is a saying that I like.
Okay.
Tim, what does it say behind you?
Oh, relationships don't have to be difficult. That was my phrase that I put on the board today.
Very nice. Yeah. You know what? Tim and I have got to talk about what this means about that egg hunt thing. Because if his head is in the way, how are we ever going to know it's there?
Easter. They're called Easter eggs. What you do is you have
Easter egg. You're right.
It's a good idea, but the trouble is the lighting is like buggers it out.
But when your head's there, it's hard to see. So I had no idea when he said this thing you said, and I'm thinking, all I saw is wall. And he's like, I know because I was walking it. I'm like, okay, well, it has to come on. We have to be able to see it.
I could do. I suppose I could do this. I could do this. Just do this the entire time.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I was able to see it when I
kind of have to lean here.
Yeah.
I was able to see it because when I came on, he wasn't sitting there. He was humming in his kitchen, I think. And so I was able to look really close and see it. Which, by the way, Tim, I heard you humming. That was fun.
Oh, okay.
And you whistling, humming or whistling in your.
You know what I was just thinking? If you do that and you sit in that direction away from the board, then we could put a caption that says "Fear of unusual things."
It's a bit like, well, when we were interviewing May King, and it was like she does fear of missing out. It could be fear of unusual things.
You're right. She does that here.
Oh, that's a terrible acronym.
Yeah. FOUS, right? No. Uh-oh.
That's so funny. I think our time is up. Is this a good time?
Yeah, our time is up.
Yes,
so we
and
have to get back to finding some unusual things to be frightened of. And
right.
I still haven't done any outro video, so
that's okay. I want to say bye to Kat, Jim, Tim, and James. Who did I get? Everyone? Kat, Jim, Tim, James
Prescott. Yeah.
Because they entered our conversation and I helped make it fun and helped us with the quiz. Thank you.
You helped them get above 2 in the quiz.
Yeah, thank you for that. We owe you.
Pat has a great idea. I have an idea as subject for your cast. Rewrite famous plots or scenes as if they were written by other writers or directors. Kat, I have a feeling you'd be really good at that.
Uh-huh.
I have a feeling other authors, directors, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it would show up my lack of not. I'd just be doing everything is Quentin Tarantino version of it or Tika.
I had a plan on just coming here, not exactly like this, and just having one episode where all I do is talk to you guys like I'm a motivational speaker.
Oh wow!
Everything I say.
What we could do, like, given that we've always been like a bit liberal with the time in these shows, what we could do for the Thursday one is have one of these wheels where we just have ideas, and at the start of the show we just spin it, and then one of them it'd be like April be a motivational speaker.
To myself, the comedic side. It's like, you know what? Today, if I didn't have business, I was actually going to show up in some sort of character form, and I was like, oh no, it's not going to work. Then I
thought about, and I might do it some stage, setting up a Instagram account as somebody called Zebedee DeBargos, who's like a total caricature version of one of these Instagram influencer people, who's like just a massive narcissist kind of fake life kind of person, where they're like, it's just pictures of them with like clearly Photoshop background.
That's exactly what I thought. I said that to my husband one day. I said, you know what I do? Because I can't stand, I have this my name's Imperfect April. I can't stand all the contrived perfection or contrived imperfection, because it's really contrived in so many ways. But I said to my husband, I said, you know what I ought to do is create a fake account under a fake name and just put all sorts of stuff in there. Say all the things you wish you could really say in real life, whether it's about you or about someone else. And I almost guarantee you something like that would end up taking off. Isn't that something? Anything fake, it's going to work, right?
Yeah. Have you seen the Influencers in the Wild Instagram account? That's quite funny. Well, they basically just got videos of people taking videos of other people who are influencers. So it might be like this video of somebody in front of a cliff face when they're in the bikini with somebody trying to take a picture of them, kind of thing.
Oh, wow. That would be interesting to look at, because influencers are kind of, no offense, guys, anybody who's an influencer, but sometimes it's a little overkill. It's a little SNL skittish, right?
We've had that conversation. I think we've had this conversation, and we have our own take on that. Could be a whole other conversation.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Let's come back dressed as our the influencer.
So, yeah, maybe we should actually have some vague structure for the Thursday shows. Who knows? We've got a guest on Tuesday who I'm entirely familiar with, who's somebody that April introduced. Laurie Kleiner-Eckert. So
yeah. And Laurie's been, Laurie's been watching when we don't realize it. She's been checking things out. So, Laurie, if you see this.
That sounds really creepy.
What?
That sounds really creepy. She's been watching us.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I think Christelle's going to love the book as well. We might all love it. But I think from a woman perspective, she has written like 4 books. And this one in particular, I think it's, forgive me, Laurie, Love, Loss. I got to pull it all up. But anyway, she has something that I think is titled, her book is one of her books. It's an old book. I think it's titled, I Need a Man's Pants to Wash, or something like that. And she's actually got a really good sense of humor. She does a lot of things. Oh, it's called. Huh? Yeah, Love, Loss. Oh, there she is. Hi, Lori. I know. I'm so sorry I botched that.
You can watch
But I've been looking at all of your books, and I'm kind of obsessed with some of them. But Love, Loss, and Moving On. That's part memoir, part unauthorized biography of the handsome British actor Bill Nighy. So, yeah, so she's got 4 books. If you guys get a chance, check her out because she's got 4 books, and there's no doubt in what I've been reading so far that she has a great sense of humor about, unexpected things that happen in life. And you guys, some of you don't know, Christelle might know from my blog, I talk a lot about the unexpected life-changing events. But she puts kind of a sense of, there's some honesty, but also she has a great sense of humor. This is somebody who knows what it's like to have to reinvent herself. She just said that the other day. Her book is about, in her mind, having to reinvent yourself. So the other book is I Need a Man's Pants to Wash, and I just thought that was based off of a column, I think it was. But I think women will love this, and I don't know about you, Tim, but I think she's going to be fun to talk to, and that's kind of why I wanted her. I thought, loss, love, they're all realities, but then you move on, and that's also a reality, which we all know.
Yeah.
So Lori, thank you, and I'm so sorry I botched your book's name.
Thanks, Lori.
Well, you can say sorry on Tuesday because she's on next Tuesday as the guest.
Yeah.
That was a segue.
Yeah. And she expects you to surprise her with a visit from Bill
Nighy.
Yeah, Nighy, yeah.
So.
Oh, my Amazon guy. I expect him to surprise me with a visit from Bill. Hey, wouldn't it be great if we could do that?
Yeah, it looks like Bill Nighy's outside April's house at the moment. So
I think it's my Amazon guy.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Anyway,
wait to meet you. Thank you, viewer.
Shall we conclude?
Yes.
Do some exciting dance moves to go out the end of the show with.
Bye.